With the coaching cycle seemingly at least now over for Ohio State, we finally get to talk football recruiting for the Buckeyes. If you want more recruiting videos as we get to kind of a lull in the football calendar, at least for college, type me in the comments section of today's show. I figured we'd start more big picture with today's recruiting video. We'll break down the 4 commitments so far for the still very, very, very early 2026 class, and we'll break down some more of the top 2026 targets for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes as they get to kind of reevaluate and focus in on the recruiting cycle now that the coaching staff is in place. The first player we'll discuss, and I would guess ends up being the highest rated recruit for the Buckeyes when it's all said and done, is a name we've all known for a while. Chris Henry Jr., the 5-star wide receiver. He's number 6 overall in the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. This is an immensely talented football player. He is the son of the former Bengals wide receiver, Chris Henry. His sister, by the way, is a basketball player for the Buckeyes as well. He began his high school career in Ohio, was at West Claremont and Withrow, and then transferred over to Mater Dei High School this upcoming season. A lot of teams will try to poach him. I don't think he's going to leave, though. I think Chris Henry is committed to the Buckeyes. He locked in a long time ago. He's always had a pretty good support structure given all the tragedy his family faced after his dad died. But I think Henry will end up being a Buckeye. I think he's going to be the next great Ohio State receiver after the other next great ones get their chances to shine this upcoming season and beyond. All right, next up is Jakob Weatherspoon, who was listed as an athlete's corner, would probably make the most sense here. Out of Avon, Ohio, by the way. Number 8 player in the state. Forgot to mention when Chris Henry committed. He committed back in 2023. Now, Weatherspoon committed earlier this year in January of 2025, but he is a top 11 athlete and probably will end up being a corner would be my guess for the Buckeyes. This is on guess. A lot can change. All right, now we're going to some not as high-touted recruits. Corbyn Fordham, the tight end out of Jacksonville, Florida, the Bowl school, by the way. 360 overall, number 18 among tight ends. He is from Florida, like I mentioned. He committed back in 2024 of November. And then there's Jaden Ricketts, another wide receiver. Now, what's noteworthy here is, and this happens a lot in the 2026 cycle or when you're a year away, which feels weird to say out loud, Ricketts is a 3-star in the composite rankings out of Ohio originally. 73rd ranked receiver. In just the 24/7 Sports rankings, he's actually 246 overall and number 39 ranked receiver. So I would not be surprised if we check in again, in 6 months, whatever, and Ricketts is more of a consensus top 50 recruit or top 250 recruit. Who is your favorite player in the Ohio State recruiting class so far? It's only 4 options. Kind of feels like Chris Henry Jr. is the obvious name there. But let me know in the comments section, the pinned comments of today's show. All right, now I want to break down 6 of the recent 2026 Ohio State visits for the Buckeyes. Some notable names we'll discuss as part of this. First up is an offensive lineman, Adam Guthrie. And again, I also will make note, I have no pronunciation guides for these, so I would hope that I get these names. Otherwise, I'm terribly sorry. Adam Guthrie, a 4-star, 155 overall out of Miami Trace High School, 13th overall offensive tackle. Some scheduled visits coming up here for Guthrie: Clemson, Ohio State, and Penn State. I will make note, Bill Kurlick has a prediction in there for Clemson. So noteworthy, but doesn't seem like the Buckeyes are the favorite at this time. Now, they are the favorites. Well, I guess they already earned it. Not really favorites anymore. They won the national championship, is what the heck I'm trying to say there. Go get your Ohio State national championship gear over at chatsports.com/OSU champs. I don't think they'll actually be the favorites to repeat, but they won the natty. You can't take that away from them. Go get the gear today. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Chatsports.com/OSU champs. Let's move to Bralan Womack, a 5-star safety, number 28 overall. Of note for Bralan Womack as we break down his final 4 teams here, by the way: Ohio State, Auburn, Texas A&M, and Florida. He's from Mississippi, by the way. 5-star in the composite rankings, top 30 recruit. his sister did recently transfer to Auburn to play softball. That's noteworthy. Still, Buckeyes seem to have a pretty decent chance here. They're very much in the running, and Bill Kurelich's prediction is Ohio State. Auburn's, having his sister there is noteworthy to me. I made a point to mention it for Chris Henry Jr. This will be a big get because they're going to lose Caleb Downs. I assume the NFL draft this year. That's some more 5-star talent. Sincere Johnson next up here. That is the linebacker who is a 4-star recruit, number 117 overall. He is from Glenville, Cleveland area, Ohio. First off, this guy looks like he could play college football today. That dude is absolutely chiseled in the most positive sense. Number 117 listed at 6'3", 225. A lot of times I think high schools lie about like their sizes and stuff. I kind of think Glenville's being a bit honest on that one. Early predictions here again from Bill Kurlich over 24/7 Sports is Ohio State. Johnson told him the Buckeyes are his number 1 team. He's from Cleveland. If the in-state guy wants to stay in state, they end up going to the Buckeyes as long as the Buckeyes want them. I know it's still early in the 2026 class, but name a player who you want to sign in this upcoming recruiting cycle. Chris Henry also works here, but I think we can aim bigger there. Let me know in the comments of today's show. All right, sticking along here with some more notable January visits. Derek Coleman Brusa, again, hopefully I'm pronouncing that name correctly, a 4-star edge, number 192 overall out of Washington. The Huskies have a big chance to land him. This is, again, what Bill wrote. Had to predict right now, I would go with Washington. I think the Huskies will be tough to beat, and Derek Coleman Brusa is likely to stay home and go to Washington. But he's been impressed with the Buckeyes. They've shown they can pull a top prospect out of the state of Washington before. He's interested enough in the Buckeyes to already have an official visit scheduled to OSU. But again, it does certainly sound like for Coleman Brusa that the Huskies are the team to beat in this recruiting cycle. But we'll see. Never sleep on the Buckeyes being able to add some top-end talent. We have an elite name alert out of Strongsville, Ohio, Storm Miller. Now, again, this is big differences in terms of 20% sports is pretty low on him. The composite has him 324, though, 6'3", 220. The prediction here, again, it's an Ohio-born product, and the Buckeyes are the prediction on that one. In fact, at least for now, Ohio State is the only visit that Miller has set. That could certainly change. Clemson has been mentioned as being in the mix as a potential contender for Miller as well. There's been some crystal balls for him on Washington, but I would guess the Buckeyes are the favorites there. Then there's Aiden Harris, who is number 37 overall in terms of the recruiting rankings. Again, these are all the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. Number 1 ranked defensive lineman. He is from North Carolina. The planned official visits right now, the Ohio State Buckeyes, South Carolina, NC State. So you've got interesting group there. Some more local programs, SC, NC State, and of course the Buckeyes as a top contender there as well. We will have plenty more Ohio State football recruiting updates for you guys right here on the channel. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button and subscribe. YouTube.com/GoBucks.